This video is sponsored by Wayfair.
The reason why I got another one is because I knew that was falling apart. And I think the new one should arrive today. So, phase 2 has begun.
Last time we focused on my son's room. Upgraded his bed, added a standing desk, this beautiful dresser, accent lights, and shelves. Now it's time to move on to the next challenge. The living room.
I just got a new apartment.
The job of a single dad is never done, but functionality helps. So in our last video of this makeover series, we did my kid's bedroom. This time, I think we're gonna do the dining area. Now, this is an area that I've had my eye on for quite a bit. I don't love this area. It's really small, which is tough, but this table would be fine, except for I don't like the height. It's more of that bar height style, which I don't love. The chairs I have here have no back, so they're kind of uncomfortable, to just really sit down. One thing I tried to do last year was actually, completely refinish this. I sanded it for probably a day and it just wasn't coming off. So it was gonna take me getting a belt sander and then having to really peel off everything. And I was just like, that's too much. So Wayfair reached out. This is giving us the opportunity to get everything redone anyway. So I've been combing the Wayfair website for a while, trying to find something that is lighter, like just a lighter color, more of that farmhouse style, just a traditional, kind of a 4-person setup. And I finally found one and it just arrived. I wasn't able to find the chairs just yet that I want, but I need to get this thing moved in so I can get this moved out. Now, I do love this table because we can fold these over, which makes the table more slim, which is ideal for a small spot, but we're gonna switch it up. But yeah, step 1. The hardest part about apartment living is feeling like everything is temporary. Do you upgrade now or wait for the house? While still being mindful that the quality of your life is shaped by your space. Well, I try to strike a balance. Surfaces seem like an afterthought until you don't have enough. And the table is where meals are shared and conversations happen. Until I can give my son the lawn that he deserves. The dining room table represents just a little piece of stability. I put the center leaf into the table. I know it's probably too big for this area, but honestly, I love having this nice large surface. I'm in love with this table. I brought the bench from my room out here temporarily because I think what I'm gonna do, I'll replace this bench and then I'll put chairs on either side and that'll be it. I don't know if I'll leave the center leaf in, but I've been clearing out this space so that it's a little bit more functional. I got rid of the bookshelf and this little side table is gonna go away and I'm getting a new buffet that is gonna arrive today. So I know this all looks chaotic. It's so messy. I hate doing all this because it's really messy. Having this table alone has just been really nice. Not to mention, it's absolutely beautiful. I love the color. I love the way the light reflects off of it. I love that I have the option of putting this centerpiece in, but honestly, I only put the centerpiece in because I didn't have anywhere to put it. It's so big and heavy and I have such limited space. It was where am I gonna put this thing? So I might as well just put it on the table. It's a little obnoxious, but I mean, look at all this space for my junk. So it's win-win. You might be wondering why I chose the dining area next after doing my son's room. This fell off the front of this drawer and this thing is it's just falling apart. It's a piece that I found on Facebook Marketplace. Based on the photos, I thought it was a lot more solid than it was when I arrived to pick it up. And it was such a hassle. I was getting everything together real fast. I was just like, I'll just take it for now. And now, yeah, I think it's time to let it go. I was initially hesitant about putting too much effort into something temporary. And then I realized what I was saying. What exactly is too much effort? And is that something I want to teach my son? One of the biggest parenting challenges is that whole do as I say, not as I do paradox. It might be reasonable to think that way as an adult, but he's always watching.
With you, I see the morning always comes. With you, I hear the story told by love. You never leave a diamond in the rough.
So this is a big day. Many of you have spoken concern about my chair. This is just a patio chair that I've been using because this was not originally here. This was kind of an impromptu thing I set up after I got my laptop. And I know there's no support. So our good friends over at Wayfair sent me this.
Thought it'd be a little bit easier to put together. Voila. And there it is. Thank you all for your complaints. Thank you, Wayfair, for the chair. You know, I think as you get older, you realize like temporary solutions are not the move. And I definitely had this as a temporary solution for way too long. Glad you guys complained. You brought it up, and I have people looking out for me. And thank you all for pointing out that I needed to improve my back support. Stop isolating yourself. Sometimes you're running from those opinions because people are going to say things you don't want to hear, but maybe those are the things that you actually need to hear. And yeah, if you guys didn't say anything, I probably would not be thinking about a chair now, even though I have the opportunity to get one. So I took a little detour on the living room to make this happen, but I sit in this chair every single day, so it's a need. I'm very disappointed in myself. Fell asleep early, and it's now 2 o'clock in the morning. I got a bunch of stuff to do going into the week, a bunch of stuff I didn't get done yesterday. But when you got a kid, when they go to sleep, sometimes this is the best opportunity to get stuff done. So first of all, please observe the sweatpants. These are the most comfortable pants I have ever owned. All I wanted for my birthday this year was comfortable sweatpants. I went on a whole excursion, but I found them. And wow. So if you see me wearing these every single day in every video for the rest of the year, I don't want you to say anything because they're worth it. So I've accumulated a bunch of camera gear over the last year, and it's kind of getting out of control. Like I have this whole charger situation set up on a bookshelf, and I'm still redecorating the living room. So I'm trying to figure out, what am I going to do with that stuff? So I had this idea to move all of those things into my closet because I have a dresser in there with space. I can set up all my chargers. They'll be out of the way. I don't have to look at them. And it allows me to free up that space out there. So the first step to make this possible is to run electricity into the closet. I need to go ahead, run this cable, and then suck it all back into the corner there. Then I can move everything into the closet, and then the bookshelf will be free. Like, this is such a small thing. This takes no time, and it is 100% worth it because it's gonna make things a little bit more tidy. This is more than a makeover. We're removing friction. Cable management seems like overkill until you're looking for something specific. In a digital world, our homes are full of blinking lights, chargers, and miscellaneous cables that are unfortunately unavoidable. Some clutter is necessary, but you get to decide where it lives. I am getting ready to hopefully try to sell this thing. You know, if I had more square footage, I would definitely keep it around. I honestly wanted to just, give all this stuff away. But what you will find if you try to give things away on Facebook Marketplace is that people are really slow to respond. They're, if it's like a timely thing where you need to get something out so you can move something in, they just lack a sense of urgency. You know what I mean? When it's free. So I thought, just go ahead and throw it up for sale. If it doesn't sell, then, I'll find some vintage shop and give it away. But the things that we're getting are to really, hopefully, more organize the space. But this just doesn't really work for us anymore. I've honestly kind of struggled a bit with the living room because I'm not really sure. I like the idea of having a desk in here, but I don't know if it fits. I don't know if I can accommodate this stuff. Like, I just don't have a ton of space. So it's more about storage solutions first and functionality second, and then aesthetics third. That's what I'm saying. You're going to get a new voice. The voice you have right now is temporary. You're going to get your grown man voice. This is the coffee table, which is a little bit bigger than our current thing, which is just this little circle table, which is cool. But it's going to be bigger than the space between the ottoman and the arm of the chair. And then we have this, which is our new cabinet, which is huge. So I was trying to decide, should it go underneath the TV or should it go on the back wall? And then I was thinking, what if I move the TV from this wall to that wall? My mind is overstimulated. I got this thing because I was like, we have all this stuff that we need to kind of hide. So I was like, well, a big buffet table with some drawers. I can slide stuff in there and put it out of the way. But then I started digging in here and I realized so much of this is like empty boxes, like kind of stuff that I don't even really need. Like the box for my mic mini, and like literally these are all the boxes for all my camera components. So maybe I can find somewhere entirely different to put all this stuff.
The hardest part of a makeover is the middle. Limited space, clutter, and attempting to navigate life like it's not there. There's beauty on the other side, even if it doesn't feel like it. But an added bonus is the natural decluttering that occurs when you realize that you never want to see some of this stuff again.
This thing has been a nightmare. I'm not even gonna lie. The saving grace, like the one thing that'll make this worth the hassle, will be if it does exactly what I want it to do. If not, I'm gonna be very upset. I've been working on this thing for 2.5 days. It should not be that complicated. It's starting to make me feel a little claustrophobic. You know, the goal is to get stuff up on the walls, get stuff, hung, but constant construction, constant building is like, makes it a little bit difficult. So I'm exhausted. Assembling all this stuff at the same time is a lot of work, and I just totally forgot to hit the record button. But I have completed the buffet table here, which replaced the raggedy one that was falling apart at the beginning of the video. The original one had 3 drawers. This one has no drawers, but I got it primarily to fit pots, pans, just kind of all that odd shaped stuff that takes up a little bit too much space. I have a couple of Dutch ovens, I have cookie cutters, like I do a lot of baking, so I have a lot of things for that I was keeping on that other one, and it was just getting a little cluttered. Well, and the other thing is that my bar height table actually had some storage underneath it, so losing that storage would mean I have to find a new place to put all these things. The lights I just put in there so you can see it a little bit better. There's no lights inside this thing. This is one big compartment right here, and then that is its own separate compartment. And then I just kind of have everything on display, easy access. I like everything to just be out in the open. And that's also why I decided to go ahead and put the pots and pans up here on the wall. Probably the best looking piece of the bunch, and it's probably going to get the most use. I'm really nervous because, sometimes the coffee machine will drip. This is why I like to have those vintage pieces, those real wood pieces, because they can handle it. This, over time, it's obviously going to be way more susceptible to the elements, so I got to be really careful with it. But it's sturdy and it looks good. So for now, I am happy.
There's usually a moment in each build where, despite the fact you've been in the house for days, you start to see the light. So one morning I just said, let's do this, and just went to work putting together the living room cabinet. No matter how passionate you are when you start something, eventually you get to the point where you just want it to be over. And I'm honestly starting to get there on this one.
Final piece. Our chairs have arrived. These are going to be not temporary, but what I want to do is 2 chairs and a bench. It's like every day I wake up, pillows end up on the floor and they just stay there all day. So I need my bench back, and I don't have a replacement bench just yet, but in the meantime, we have chairs now, so I can take this bench back to my room. Phase 2 is complete. This is the new space. Everything is exactly the way I envisioned it. I'm gonna let this ride out for a few weeks just to figure out,
what works, what doesn't work. But right now, this kind of seems perfect. So the first change was we went ahead and we removed this bookshelf, which is perfect because I took that bookshelf, broke it down, and now it allows me to stack things inside of my closet. So that was an advantage I was not expecting to happen at all, but it worked out perfectly. And now I got a little bit more room in my closet. In front of me, I'm looking at a 9 dresser drawer, which I'm using as like a TV stand, console table, buffet side, whatever. It showed up in the buffet sideboard section, and some of the photos indicated that's what it was. But now that I look at it, maybe it's a dresser. But it works perfectly for me because what I wanted was storage. I wanted something that had a lot of drawers that allowed me to separate and organize all these little random things I have because, again, I just have limited space. So all the little spare picture frames and electrical cords and things that I had all up through here are now organized inside of there. Now in phase 2, I took a minor detour and went ahead and ordered a new office chair for my bedroom because you guys have definitely noted in the past that you were worried about my back support, and I knew it was something I needed to address. So I went ahead and ordered a new chair for my bedroom, and it is absolutely beautiful. Funny that you can get so comfortable with experiencing discomfort that you forget what comfort actually feels like. And sitting in a chair now that is like made for sitting, wildly different. Now, the dining area is a little bit cluttered. It's mostly because I expanded the new table a little bit wider than I needed to, but I just didn't have any place to put that center leaf just yet. I honestly just didn't know what to do with it for now, so I just went ahead and left it inside the table. But going forward, I may reduce the size of it, but that's all semantics, right? The main thing is the space more comfortable? Is it more organized? Does it give me what I want? And the answer is absolutely. The wood was just very, very dark, so it was just absorbing light. Now I have this bright white table that's just bouncing light and giving me a much more visually appealing shot. And it's also way more functional because it's simply bigger. Now, since my last video, I also added a buffet table in the dining area, which is perfect for storing all those pots and pans. I also decided to take all the extra pots and put them on the wall, which is great for storage, makes them very easy to find. I can tell what's there. I can tell when the dishes are dirty. Like, maybe some people would say it's a little bit cluttered, but personally, that's the way I like things to be. I like them to be on display. I like it so I can just visually see what I have available to me rather than having to go through drawers or go through cabinets and things. This top shelf right now is just storage, but maybe it becomes something a little bit more of like a display. But for right now, it gets stuff out of the way and it allows me to, once again, have places to put things. Shelves, drawers, these are the keys to making the most out of a small space, and I stand by that. Now, I will say the table was probably the easiest thing out of everything to put together, other than maybe my office chair. But it's super heavy. I struggled bringing it up the stairs. And if I didn't have my son, I probably wouldn't be able to turn it over. So this phase has definitely been a lot of I needed help. Putting things into place like the buffet table and this dresser by myself, a little bit more tricky. Like I needed another person to be with me. But more specifically, this table. This small coffee table was the most frustrating piece of furniture I have ever put together. But there's so many times where you're assembling both sides at the same time that you really need another pair of hands. This coffee table I chose specifically because it has the flip top. The ability to do this gives me a large enough surface for me to be able to work, so I don't have to have a desk inside the living room. And this is enough for me being able to sit here, watch TV with my son while I get a little bit of work done, and have like a real surface to work with. So this is a huge change. I wasn't sure how it was going to work. I wasn't sure if this was going to be reliable. Absolutely worth it. Probably the most important piece here, and not going to lie, it's my favorite. As long as it does what I got it to do, it is an absolute game changer. So this is the final look for now. I hope you enjoyed phase 2 of my Wayfair apartment remodel. Space is going to remain like this for a few weeks. I'm going to see how it goes. I'm going to see what the flow is like. And then we're going to start to get into the next room. I want to once again thank our sponsor, Wayfair, for making this possible. Looking forward to phase 3. See you guys soon.